We are joined by former Mossad director Efraim Halevy. Efraim, thank you very much for joining us this morning on this. So you were the former head of what's known as really one of the best intelligence agencies in the world, and you've seen Israel under attack before. So first, if you wouldn't mind just telling us your analysis of how this compares in terms of the coordination and sophistication of the attack. And I know that you weren't familiar with classified information in this particular instance, but just your thoughts on the fact that this was able to take place undetected.
What is clear is that this was an operation which was planned in advance over a long period of time. It was kept secret, and the Hamas leadership was able to prevent any leak concerning it. We were surprised a week ago, 7 days ago, and we have paid the terrible results, the terrible fee, if you like to call it, for the fact that we did not have prior information. I assume that all this aspect of the event will be ultimately researched at the end of the war and not now, because now we are concentrating on how to turn the tide. And I believe that this is now the moment where possibly the tide may turn in the right direction.
One of the things that is happening now is trying to figure out the hostages who are currently being held by Hamas and how to get them back. We know Israel has a history of daring raids to try and rescue its citizens, but this is a different, unprecedented situation. What are some of the obstacles that the Israeli military and officials are facing? In your opinion, what needs to be done to try and get those hostages back safely?
I don't think we will get the hostages back unless the Hamas realizes that if this is not the case, and if the inevitable will happen, and the most horrendous will happen, and we will not see them back alive, I think that in that case, they must assume that the price they would pay will, from their point of view, be beyond description. And I'm not saying this in a mood of warning or trying to threaten anybody. I'm simply analyzing the situation the way it is. And if we analyze the situation the way it is, we can, under no circumstances, afford an end to this campaign until the Hamas, who launched it a week ago and is responsible for all the death that has happened since, all the terrible events of decapitation of living people, including babies, and other aspects of a horrendous behavior on part of the people who simply flowed into the south of Israel. I think that it must be understood that Israel cannot and will not let this end in a manner that Hamas will ever be able to restore its capabilities again.
So what does that mean you think needs to happen next? Is this that land invasion from this analytical perspective that you're discussing? How is that possible?
I am not privy to the plans, and if I were, I would not reveal them. The army spokesman issued a warning to people in a certain area to move away from that. And now it is up to them to obey that order, or to stay where they are and risk whatever will happen as a result of it to them. I have no idea what the plan is, but I think that it is also directed to the leadership of Hamas, because they are responsible for this. They are responsible for the lives of their citizens. And they have brought this about upon the south of Israel. And if they do not behave properly at this stage, then all the deaths that will now happen in the Gaza Strip will be because of the behavior of the Hamas leadership, none less and none more.
Efraim Halevy, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.